Oh, royal family, blessed love. Of course, you know, we give thanks to the life giver and the keeper of life, Emperor Haile Selassie the First. Hope all is well with you and yours. Of course, you're definitely in the tiger's nest. Yes, this is the visual version of the tiger's nest. Honorable Priest Isaac here with you. Wonderful evening, giving thanks for life. You know, I wanted to continue the discussion that I had the other evening as it relates to not just Empress Menen worthy of praise, but just the concept of the woman in general, even in the whole Godhead science. Now, this is something that has come up from time to time. And of course, there are those that will tell you, well, listen, God is a woman because all of us came from a woman, which I would agree, but all of us still had to come from a man too. We may not have come out of the man, but it is the man and the woman that both contributed to make us. So I ain't gonna lean on no one side as if, you know, I've been so hurt by patriarchy that I'm gonna just turn flat out matriarchy and act as if it's not a balance. It's balance we deal with, eh? We deal with Gemini. We deal with the male and the female balance. But I want to highlight a few things this evening that I didn't highlight in that previous program there. Plus, of course, you know the real program was done on radio and the Tiger's Nest radio program. Remember, the Tiger's Nest comes to you every Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday at 7 p.m. sharp. And if you cannot get to the Tiger's Nest can come straight to you. How do you do that? All you got to do specifically is contact us, and you will definitely ask us to be a subscriber to the Tiger's Nest, and we will definitely oblige you as we go on. In fact, let me just remind you of this, family. This weekend, as it's called, it's really a weekend, you know. I know some people like to say strong end, but it's a weekend because the week is coming to an end. The week has ended, you understand? Yes, for sure. This will be the sealing up of the special offer that we had. Well, not had, we still have it up to now, but for sure coming to this weekend, it's going to come to an end. And the special offer was, or is, because it's still going on, that when you order any of the international homeschool programs, you have the biology, you have the African history and heritage and astronomy. You know, when you order the full program, you get one of these beautiful shirts for the young ones that you are enrolling into the program. And even if it's not the young ones and it's the older ones enrolling into the program, it's all right. We have the shirt in your size as well. So for sure, family, as you know, for some time now, we have been offering, when you order the international homeschool program for the young ones, you'll definitely get your copy, you'll definitely get your t-shirt, the I am the best t-shirt, as you can see, as it has on it our motto, I am the best and I deserve the best, and only the best is coming to me now. And remember, that is free of cost, and even down to the shipping comes straight to you. So definitely, family, that whole blessing day is now coming to a seal up at the end of this weekend here. So this is the best time for you to be a part of that. Wonderful. Yes, and let me just also remind those of you here in Antigua, as you know, the summer solstice experience is definitely on. And this Sunday, we are going to have the beautiful sunset hike. We had a wonderful hike yesterday with two of our visitors that came in from London. That was yesterday. We had a wonderful hike up the Greencastle Hill. And then we will be returning now on Sunday, the 19th of June. I know this says 4:30 family here in Antigua, but we will be gathering at 3:30. Let me repeat that. Although you see 4:30 here, that's just a little mistake. Pardon me for that. We will be gathering at 3:30 p.m. As I said, Greencastle Hill hike. That is Sunday, the 19th of June, the sunset hike. We'll be meeting at the Ebenezer gas station. Wonderful vibration. And then the Tuesday, the 21st, that will be the sunrise yoga hike. Oh man, everyone seems to be interested in that one there. And we'll be gathering at 5 a.m. at the same spot, the Ebenezer gas station. And for those of you who are here in Antigua, remember for the sunrise hike, we are definitely requiring you to contact us prior to preserve your spot, to register for that one, since it's that early. And of course, we would not be hanging around waiting for anyone. We want to know that you will be there. Of course, there's a grace period that we give for those who will be coming on this Sunday. So yes, Sunday the 19th, Tuesday the 21st, sunset hike. We gather at 3:30 the Sunday, not 4:30 again. And Tuesday morning, we gather at 5 a.m. So of course, you don't know what to do. You know, if you need more information, you just contact us. The website, you don't know, please, the email, Priest Isaac Institute at gmail.com. That's Priest Isaac Institute at gmail.com. I do have another poster. That one would have the information on it, but for sure, you all know the information itself. So make sure you're front and center. All right. And definitely, family, even in this time, we are encouraging you to definitely look into Megalith Investment Group. Now, this is actually the investment wing of Rastafari Experience Antigua. And I'm telling you, family, for sure, in this time here, when we need to be economically strong and definitely moving on a different level, you are definitely in the best hands with Megalith Investment Group, where we definitely have different avenues to invest. All you got to do is just contact us, as you can see right here on the flyer. Great returns, between 10 and 20%. I don't know where else you go and hear that. Great returns between 10 and 20% in a very short time. And definitely anyone who's serious, I mean, people have the money in the bank gaining 1% and 2% per annum every year. For a year, you getting 2% on whatever amount you have in the bank. Yes, this is an investment group, so you can, but for sure in the investment world, you're getting about 8% or even 10%. Wow, you're doing good. And we're giving great returns between 10 and 20% in a very short period of time. And as you would know, we do have a track record, Rastafari Experience Antigua, and of course, trustworthy and transparent. So I'm just encouraging you to contact us, and you can set up a consultation, and definitely we will give you more information on that. And a good 15, half an hour, however long it takes for us to consult and reason about your investment. You know, whatever it is you're investing, we'll show you exactly how it will come forward to you. As I said, fully transparent. We carry you through the whole process while we're going through the process. And man, there's so many different goodies and prizes and surprises we have for you once you definitely partner with us. So just contact us, email us or call us. All the information is right there. We can send you much more information as it relates to this. This is where it's at, family. Let me just tell you that. This is where it's at. All right, take it from me. We can send you much more information. And as I said, we can set up a one-on-one consultation, or with you and your group and your business, and show you how you could definitely get the most for your dollar investing in Megalith Investment Group. All right, family, straight up. So you see, as I said, this is a serious time. It's not about just bouncing your gum and grinning and skinning, but it's a very, very, very serious time. You know about a strong ago? No, it wasn't a strong ago. It was just Monday. You know, I did a program there on a few brethrens that were talking about specifically Empress Menen. And the brothers, them, for some reason, they didn't believe that Empress Menen technically was worthy of praise. Let's put it that way. In other words, the sort of ranks that an individual would give to Emperor Haile Selassie I. You know, they just didn't seem right that you'd be balancing off Empress Menen there with the king. All right. Now, I mean, I think we're all created equally in the sight of the Most High, but we have different ranks, you understand? And for sure, with all understanding, nobody can tell me that the emperor is not the highest, as the 87th Psalm says, the highest himself. But if there's a natural balance of male and female, that means the highest himself must have a herself as well, and them highest region. It only makes sense to me. Now, amongst the male and female, they have their own position. Any real woman, any real conscious woman will tell you that her king man is her captain and the ruler of the household. I don't care. You saying something else, you must be looking to go in one of them pride marches there. You understand? But that's our ancient Afrocentricity. We ain't getting European now with no madness. That's our ancient Afrocentricity, you know, but it's always a balance. It is always a balance. If the mother is the first teacher to the child, the man don't have to feel no way. The mother is the first teacher to the child. That doesn't take away anything from the man being the man. Everyone just has their role. But that doesn't mean one is greater now or the woman is the greatest teacher because she is the first teacher of the child. And the man is supreme because he's the one that captained the ship. I'm sure any real captain definitely have to talk to the vice captain and say, hey, you think we're going good? You think we're going right? Take over the ship for the night. Let me see how you steer it. That's how the thing works. So when it comes to the sacredness of or the divine nature then of Haile Selassie I. And what I was looking at is just the relationship of Haile Selassie I and Empress Menen, because you got to keep in mind what the brothers were saying. One of the main points that they were kicking out is that Empress Menen gave up her crown, and that she, you know, when the war was going on with Mussolini, she promised that she would give her crown to the church if they won the war, and they won the war, and she gave her crown to the church. And the brothers were saying, well, you know, the king made her a next crown and she still didn't wear that crown. But as I said, this picture that we're looking at here with the king on his crown, that's about it. After that day, you don't see the king with the crown. I mean, if you have a special picture, remember it was a 7-day celebration. There's this other picture where he's standing, I think, in one of the rooms after the coronation in the full regalia. That may be the very day, or it may be the day after, or somewhere even in the 7-day celebration day. But let's just be honest. We know that after this period of coronation, you don't see the emperor with his crown. I don't know if you can pull up one of them pictures. I would like to see it with the emperor put back on all of this stuff here and put the crown on his head. And I honestly consider that a very humble expression, because the emperor we know is suit and necktie or khaki suit and hard hat and moving through like a military man in much humble fashion, really. Not going on like if, well, you know, look at my crown, I have the most golden diamonds and all of that stuff. Even if it's the coronation anniversary, the king come to the anniversary in his war fatigue. The king come to the party in his black suit and his tie. Yeah, no heavy robe and no heavy crown. And all of that is very symbolic. That's a symbol of him showing you that, in a sense, he's left that level to come on this level, to balance off and be with us as such. The spirit that dwells within the flesh that we know has crystallized itself in the flesh that we know, basically. And to me, in all symbolism, that expression of his existence amongst us, where he take off the crown and just put it aside and take off all them heavy clothes and put them aside and say, don't worry, I can slew Goliath without all of this armor here. Yeah, I find that as a very high sense of humility. So, you know, when it comes to Empress Menen, to me, to say that somehow we have to step down on giving her praises because she never wear the crown again. But what about the king? What about the emperor? You know, it's the same thing. And that was really one of the premise of my reasoning. And I say one for real because there were other things that were said. There was this comparison made with Empress Zaditu, who, as you know, she was the empress. She was the empress and her husband was not the emperor. And you know, that's a good example to use because ones were saying that, okay, Queen Elizabeth, well, that one wasn't a good example. But anyway, Queen Elizabeth, her husband, Prince Philip, he's not King Philip, but he's a prince. So what the brothers are saying is that the highlight is really on the queen and not the prince. But that's how it is. Even in the Ethiopian standard, when the woman becomes the empress, her husband don't become the emperor. Zaditu's husband, Gupsa Wele, was like a queen consort. That was his title as such. He didn't become emperor. But when an emperor becomes emperor, his wife just naturally become empress. So obviously you can see now. It's just like when you have marriage. Even if a woman nowadays would keep her maiden name and then attach the marriage name, she still attaches her husband name and her husband name seal it up. As balanced as a woman would want to be, even as balanced as she wants to be, if she married a man, she take the man's name. So that means obviously we still have an understanding. I think we naturally have a mutual understanding of the position of the man. I think that is what some of these elders are afraid they may lose. So they're trying so hard to defend it that they dethroning the woman one time, baby gone out with bath water. I understand because a phrase was brought up, something about feminism in Rastafari. And yeah, they have a spot of that here and there, of course. I even made a mention on my program, you know, the Tiger's Nest, of actions I've seen amongst ones who consider themselves Rass's sisters, or a specific sister who consider herself a Ras. She's quite renowned in South Africa as a rapper. And I mean, as Ras, I'm not disrespecting her. You know? I'm not disrespecting her. But you see, you have to defend your culture. You have to defend your culture. You can't just come into this culture and totally put aside the rules of Rastafari. Right? And when I say totally put aside, even though you have different groups of Rasta, there's certain things that you just don't do. So as a woman, you're a woman. This thing trying to move like a man and jeans and gloves and leather jacket and yeah, you're a rapper, but hey, you're a Rastafari. Now I'm saying it. I'm not the one to try to run nobody life. Nobody can tell you I trying to tell them do this and do that. But what I'm saying now, in the sacredness of Rastafari, I'm not saying that this sister is, but you can't come into Rasta and tell me that you're queer. It leading there. Hey, I'm not asking you. It leading there. So you can soon see people come and say them is Rast, but you know what I mean, there can be some funny Rast. None of that can go so. So you have to defend it and don't tell me it can't happen because enough things I hear man say can't happen and they happen already. Enough things I hear man say can't happen. And they're happening right now under the nose of them that say it can't happen. And they just allow it and leave it. So you have to defend your culture. You don't have to be tyrannical. You don't have to be disrespectful. You don't have to care who vex with you for saying what you want to say, because the comment I just made, in some of you saying, oh, well, Rasta ain't got no rule, man. The woman can dress how she wants to dress. If she wants anything she wants, she can dress like a man if she wants to. This ain't just about woman and pants, you know. I talking about dressing like totally totally looking like a little boy, moving just like how a girl move like what they call a tomboy when she wants to express her masculinity. That is how the sister will look into me. You understand? Straight up, with no disrespect to her. And this is not about her. It's not about the situation. It's about the principle. Principle I'm talking about. You understand? So it's a culture we have here. It's not the individual thing. It's a culture. And when you come into the culture, we have to show you the culture. You can't bring outside world in the culture and try to change the culture to the outside world and tell me about Pride Month. And no, you cannot do that. But we so slack, we will make that happen. You know, we will make that happen. So even them kind of talk about these European feminist vibes in Rastafari, I don't doubt that. I don't doubt that. We come face to face with that. We come face to face with that. I know some of your sisters don't like that because that's where your mind is too. We come face to face with that. You understand reality. So we ain't overthrowing nobody here. So brethren, we ain't overthrowing no woman, and woman, we ain't overthrowing no man. It's a natural balance. That's how it is. It ain't no matriarchy over patriarchy. I'm not into none of that. It's a natural balance. I started here once arguing about the woman had to be first because all man come out the woman. So, but wait, who you think put the man in the woman and next man? So this thing that man want to be and woman want to fight over, you know, this battle of the sexes in Rastafari. This is why the emperor bringing the empress in the coronation to show us that it is a balance. It is a balance. Is the emperor get crowned first? It's just a natural, but it's still a balance, not because it is the emperor's coronation and the empress's coronation. Is the both of them get coronated. It's not no one person, but I think we all could understand that the center point here is Emperor Haile Selassie I, without a doubt. Nobody can deny that, without a doubt. You understand reality. So even when the Empress Menen transitioned, the Emperor spoke. I think it was the eulogy itself. And when you hear the Empress speak of the Empress as if there was nothing of impurity that was ever seen in her, you know, as if there was a divine perfection in her. And of course, her works itself shows that. I even highlighted how the Empress would have officiated the opening of a mosque, an Ethiopian monk mosque, you know, monks mosque, male mosque, man mosque. And them Ethiopians strict with their mosque, woman and so can't come in there, not even a woman she can come in their mosque. But when the mosque was open, Empress Menen was the one that officiated the opening of the mosque, not of a church, you know, of a mosque. And I you know, when I read that story first, I found that very deep. I said, wow, especially having an understanding of how the Ethiopians flex with that one day, the monks that are around of Deborah Damos, not even a female donkey and so can come up there. So you can see the meditation, but yes, they rally around Empress Menen. When it comes to the opening of the mosque. And you see the sciences now, this picture here is from that exact period, that exact time day, if I'm not mistaken, because the mosque was in, I think it was in Jerusalem, really. Now, you know, what I'm saying here, family, like ones are saying that for whatever reason, that this balance of male and female is something that we get from Egyptian stuff. And imagine in this time, you still have Rastafari that side we're burning out Egypt, it's obvious that they lack the comprehension really of the science of it. But anyway, I wanted to show you a science. This is not Egypt. I think this one is from Montserrat, the Black Virgin, and then the Black Madonna and Child. And why I'm highlighting this, because we often come down on Christianity for the same thing of leaving the woman out, Christianity and the Bible, etc., etc. Now, it is obvious that in known Christianity, the woman is not in the Godhead. That's for sure. But I always found it interesting that the Roman church, and of course the other Orthodox churches, but I just highlighting for the moment the Roman Catholic Church, for that is what we knew growing up. I was never a member of that Roman Catholic stuff, but still, growing up in Christianity and all of that, the Virgin Mary didn't really have a part to play. She just was the mother of the Christ figure, but she wasn't. There was nothing special too much about her outside of that. But yet, still in the Catholic world, the Catholic, man, the same church all of these other churches ran away from and broke off from. So their mother church, as we all know, have a very special place for Mary. She may not be God, but she's definitely the mother of God. Them fellas wake up every morning and pray to her, to Mary. Interesting. And this is Roman Catholic I talking. You don't get no more Roman than that. And they wake up in the morning with a little juju bead or whatever they have there, and they pray, Mary, Mother of Grace. And she the one, you have to talk to her. And she carried the praise to her son. And he carried the praise to the big fella. Or else your praise don't reach nowhere. Mary. Well, it may not, and of course we all know that no matter what picture they have in the church, for sure in the cellar, they have the Black Madonna. You understand? All over Europe, Russia, these different places you go, and you see the statue and the portrait of the Black Madonna, the Black Mary. But again, she is venerated. Now, let me show you a little science here. Now, this is the picture of the Last Supper. And we know the Last Supper is when Jesus and his disciples went and they broke bread and they eat and XYZ. And then afterwards, he went and got crucified, the Last Supper. So the painting of Michelangelo, which is showing the Last Supper, this one may have been a little touch-up of it, but basically we know the picture. Most of us who may be over 30, etc., could remember when you were young, you would have that Last Supper picture up in the house. It may be still there up to now. When you see the Christ figure in the middle, and on his left is 6 disciples, and on his right is 6 disciples. And of course, many ones consider that to be the sun and the 12 zodiac sign. And of course, you can go into that all day long. There's nothing wrong with that. There's reality in that, but don't just get stuck there and think that's exactly what it means. That's all it means. It doesn't mean that picture just means the sun and the 12 zodiac signs. Okay, I agree. There's that symbolism in it too, but it means a heap more than that. Much more than that. Now, you see, remember this was put down by a Freemason, an arch Freemason himself. You understand? Yeah, all of these artists, Leonardo and Michelangelo, these ones were high-ranking Freemasonry, Masons, pardon, Raphael, Freemasons, you understand? Picasso, Freemasons. Yeah. Now, the mystic here, I'm sure some of you know it, is that this disciple here is Mary Magdalene. Now remember, you know, this is not an African painting. This is right out of the halls of Europe itself. But when the painting was done, when Leonardo did the painting, it was done in a Masonic way. I'm sure some of you have read the Divinity Code, or at least seen the movie. So the first science right away is that everybody believes that these are the 12 fellas around the table. But it's 11 of the fellas and the sister. So where's the other fella gone? Read the story good. It was Judas who left the room before the supper was done. Judas got up and left the room before the supper was done. So Judas done leave the room here. That's why it's 12 of them, 11 fellas and Mary Magdalene, according to the story. And just the whole way she's drawn, look at her posture, how she has her hand, and you can see it's Mary. I don't know who this fella is. We're trying to tell her there, but but there's so many things in these pictures here, or this picture that these Masonic fellas put together. So you would have to go and observe and check the sign. All right. Now, the angle at which it was put together, where Mary Magdalene, is at this angle here. Now, when you move her from here, if you were to just Photoshop her out of this picture and put her right between here, she would fit so perfectly. Even as Jesus look-alike here, he will be actually looking at her, and she will be resting her head right on the left shoulder of her Messiah. You see it here? This is on his right, and then when you move her to his left, she's leaning perfectly on his shoulder and actually snug in between him. That's Mary Magdalene. But you see now, if you notice, remember, this is not something that is taught in Christianity. The presence of Mary Magdalene with the Messiah. Yeah, Mary Magdalene comes into the story every now and again, but she's not really portrayed as one of his disciples, like with him, like a companion of him. Remember, the Jesus fella is seen as someone who didn't have no feminine companion, no children, no wife, where other historians would say otherwise. So she now, the Mary Magdalene figure, also in the scripture, one's highlight her as the prostitute that came and washed his feet, the one that came with the alabaster box. You comprehend. But Mary of Magdala, I think we all know by now, there's certain scriptures that they took out the Bible and certain historical opinions that say that they even had a daughter. And I think they went to France or something like that. Yeah, but anyway, not going into all of that speculation. This is not speculation time. This is not speculation here. This is clear that the artist, and you must keep in mind that the artist would not do this by mistake. The artist would not even do this for fun. The artist, obviously, Da Vinci, would have had a clear agenda when, number one, he put a woman in amongst the 12. And if you're not really careful, you would believe that it is one of the fellas. Mary Magdalene, no beard, nothing, looking just like a woman. Listen, if this is one of them fellas there, I tell you, they overdo it. You understand? I know there's the John, the disciple that loved the Lord. This ain't he here. Maybe it's this one here, but this ain't he. That's Mary of Magdala. Well, this one might be Mary Magdalene, but the real black woman that was with the real black Messiah, is Mary of Magdala. And Magdala is in Ethiopia. So it is the Miriam from Ethiopia that was the wife of the Christ. And this is why I always highlight when he met the woman from Samaria. That's an ancient allegory there again. Remember, Samaria was one of the wives of God. In Isaiah, I think it is, God had two wives, Jerusalem and Samaria, Aholiah and Aholiab. That was their names, but they were symbolic of Jerusalem and Samaria. So Samaria is one of God's wives, and Jerusalem is the other wife, or one of God's wives. Now, I find it mystic that Christ, who is God in flesh, met this woman at the well, and she was from Samaria. Hold on. The whole idea of him meeting her at the well, what does that mean? Go and check your history, even your biblical history. When an individual meets somebody at the well, it has a lot to do with marriage and union, because you can see the story that even Abraham sent Isaac's servant to the old country to find Isaac a wife. And when the servant came to the well, he told the Lord that, let the wife of my master come to this well and, get some water for me and my animals. So said, so done. Along came Rebekah, the wife of Isaac, and dipped water out of the well for Abraham's servant, so that Abraham's servant could get water and give his camel and whatever else he had with him the water. She was Isaac's wife. He found her at the well. Jacob came back to the same well. Jacob is Isaac and Rebekah's son. And when Jacob saw his wife, Rachel, he removed the stone from the well. I think the other shepherds would have covered the well. Jacob removed the stone from the well and got water for his wife, his soon-to-be wife. So there we see that these Christ figures, which they are, the Esau, the Isaac, the Jacob, meeting their wives at the well. Moses met his wife at a well, the 7 daughters of Jethro. He met them at the well, and he defended them against the wicked shepherd that were up in that mountain, and he gave them water too. So all the Christ figures would have met their wives at a well. So when I see that Christ met the Samaritan woman at the well, to me, that is showing you that's the symbolism of God and his wife. And remember, it's an allegorical story, very, very layered in symbolism, as King Emmanuel teaches us. So that is showing you now, because remember, God's wife is Samaria. And here we have God in flesh meeting the woman from Samaria by the well. And Sa and Maria are two words that really link with water. Sa in that ancient tradition is water, and Mariam or Maria is water, Mary, so it's deep. So the whole concept of Christ and the woman, even in the Jesus level of it, it's there, because the main Jesus artist, I don't know if somebody would have arrested them for making it play, but the Jesus artist himself had to shroud it in mystery, where you now would have to figure out that this is the wife, or the woman at least, of the Jesus. Because remember, that is how these fellas do their artwork, with symbolism, esoteric vibration, in some form of mystic way. And as I said, the geometry is perfect. Remember, he's the artist. He did the drawings. And he knows when you move her from here and just put it in between them two fellas here, this one going to be opening up his arms like, hey, how do you get here? And this one here, whatever he's trying to say. So the whole story changes. And she's here snug, as they say, as a bug in the rug. They are leaning up on the Messiah. So I just felt that I would show you even on that level. So it's a real low level of even Christendom, that would push the idea of pushing the woman out of the whole scene of any level of consciousness. Yes, we can say the Bible as well. Of course, I myself have done how much program where we highlight some serious things we read in the literal Bible. But you must admit that even when you read the Bible, it speaks of the woman in her God form. I don't mean Ruth and Sarah and no, I mean wisdom. When you read the Ecclesiastics and the Proverbs, wisdom. The wisdom is the woman that was there with God. Wisdom said that she was with God from the beginning. Wisdom was there before anyone was formed, you know. So the wisdom is symbolic of the woman, you know, just as you have God as the male, wisdom as the female, and she was right there. It was wisdom that assisted the foundations of creation would stand on the 7 pillars of wisdom. You check it again, the 7 pillars of wisdom. Just as the 7th principle comes up with the 7 churches of Christ. In Revelation, he talks about the 7 churches of Christ. Where in Isaiah talk about 7 women that take hold of one man, where a woman represents the church, the 7 churches of Christ, the 7 pillars of wisdom that was there in the beginning with the Most High to create the foundations of the earth. So, you know, Rastafari, you know, I give thanks to King Emmanuel Order. You know, trust me, believe me. Because coming into King Emmanuel Order, it was clear, at least from the creed and from our service, that Empress Menen was right there sitting next to the king. Every chant, every time we finish a hymn, we have to chant all that, King Alpha and Queen Omega, Father and Mother of Creation, plus just listening to King Emmanuel's tapes. When he talk about, you know, some say we come from one, we can't come from one, we have to come from 2, Father and Mother of Creation. So as Bobo Shanti, no matter what nobody say, people just want to try to stones at us. No matter what nobody say. We've always noticed that that King Emmanuel taught us that the woman's place with the Godhead is definitely secure. You understand? And this is nobody, you know, but you know what I mean, even as going around now being, you never heard that. No man, remember I in it for a little while, you know. I never hear the Nabingi say nothing about no woman and no Queen Omega, and that's the honest truth. That's the honest truth. When I go in Bobo camp and see empresses carrying out service, empresses carrying service, empresses, man, vex with you and say, oh, yeah, priest, and have no priestess. You can say what you want. Empresses or empresses. It's empresses, them they be, you know. They try to belittle them, you know, empresses. We ain't no empress. Them is empresses. Check the vibes good, eh? Oh. I mean, we may be empress within ourselves, but you know what it is. We ain't carry the title of emperor. But them is empresses. Carrying out all night now, Bingy. You never see the videos where we march into King's house and the woman them carrying the whole night Bingy service. Well, not the whole of it, but when we settle along and brethren, Bingy and Bobo beating the drums. So what were you talking about? Empresses rising him and thing. It's only, no disrespect, it's only in the Nyabingi house I hear man saying the woman shouldn't have nothing to say in here. A man arguing about that. And then around 2003, as they say, Muta Baruga came on stage at a conference in Jamaica and let ones know that, hey, it's time that we heal the woman. Well, of course, you know, Muta thinking so long time. And then a lot of ones say, hey, the man right and so and so. But, well, give thanks for the word sound. You know, but I have been doing that from such time. So we can't be taking a step back now, brethren. Nah, man, no worry, man. Heal Empress Menen. If you're not too sure, we'll figure it out later, but heal Empress Menen, man, because you have to have that balance there. It don't look right to me. It don't even make sense. That balance must be there, that the motherly figure. And who better than the wife of King Haile Selassie, Empress Menen? Even on her own, she proved herself, her humility, and you know what I mean, just the same thing with the crown. that alone shows you, yeah, man, that's our mother there. You know, the kind of deal, if you want to call it, she met with the universe that she'll give up. That just shows she understands the importance of the crown. But she'll give it up to save her children's life. And even if the mama have on the heavy crown, just like the emperor have on the heavy crown, mama does wear her tihara, them little skinny crown there. Yeah, man, the best men does flex them there too. So I think the elders, them with all love and respect, you know, should check them words sound, to be very, very honest. And I hope it don't sound like I'm the elders at all. I just had to maybe highlight them few things so the conversation could be understood. People may think I just coming out of the blue with this conversation here, you know. So again, give thanks for the feminine energy, man. Empress Menen standing out. And as I said, you know, that's why I highlighted that even Christendom have that energy and that vibration there itself too, where the outstanding artists of the time, which were supposed to be master masons, have to hide it. Well, maybe they didn't have to hide it, but it's hidden. It's hidden in the picture, showing you. You just look at it and see the Christ, the Jesus figure, and 12 other people, 6 on one side and 6 on the other. And most of us never stop to think that one of them is a woman. And then the one that is a woman, when you just move her to the other side, she just fit in the man's arm like a little teddy bear. And that is how Leonardo da Vinci paid that with his Isaac Newton Freemasonic way of thinking. You follow what I say? Yeah. So why did he do that? Was he rebelling? Was he saying, oh, y'all want to hide the woman? I'm going to show you something. Just think about that. Because in reality, Christendom don't big up no woman. That's why I went into the Roman Catholic vibes to show you that even there, you see, you have to go through Mary to get anywhere. You have to hit Mary first before you go to the Son, and then the Son carry it to the Father. But the breakaway Christendom throw that part away. I don't know why, but they don't deal with that part at all. It's gun-ho all the way with the fellas. So there may have been a reason why Da Vinci had to code it and didn't expressly or openly express it to the audience that was seeing his painting. Or maybe he was just in the mood to be symbolic and esoteric when he painted that. Your guess is just as good as mine, you see. But yeah, man, family, even the same Bible, you can't, when it comes to this, there's certain aspect of the Bible, in reality, you can't throw it down. You know? When it said God created the heavens and the earth, if we're to be fair, even in the biblical sense of it, it's male and female, it was talking about. Let us make man, it's male and female, it was talking about. It's the philosophy that come with the Bible that you say, but who is this? Let us make man, they talk about. God the Father, the Son, and the Holy Ghost. You understand? But no, Elohim, remember, Elohim is 7 beings. And the gods in Elohim have their wives too. It's just a natural thing. Whoever paint all the lily white angels and all the fellas in so-called heaven, that's them. But I don't take away from the reality of even what the Bible is expressing. But anyway, family, the main thing is, man, we can't be stepping back. I know, because this is obvious there's a divine balance, you know, very, very divine balance. And certain aspects of this conversation I want to carry on. But for sure, we're going to begin an open mic series, where we will be opening the floor, giving the link to come in, so you can come literally right here on YouTube, come on board, depending on whatever subject area, and share your opinion. We're going to look to start that very soon. Open mic night, we will be calling it, night with a K. Yes, see? Esoteric night with a K. A family member specifically at this time, for sure, if one is serious about their financial growth and serious about investment, I'm encouraging you to contact us at Megalith Investment Group. This is the investment wing of Rastafari Experience Antigua. And as I said earlier, we definitely are offering to you great returns between 10 and 20% in a very short time. And of course, there are different avenues that you can invest in, what you're seeing here on this flyer, and even other avenues as well, very lucrative areas. And I'm just telling you, you know, I'm very, very serious. This ain't no joke. You contact us and we will have a consultation with myself or any member of our team. And for sure, you don't know, our track record is pristine. Specifically, I would say, what's that word? Immaculate. Our track record, and for sure, trustworthy and transparent. And remember, this is the wing of Rastafari Experience Antigua, the investment wing. This is the level we need to reach, family, for sure. You know what I mean? This is about our economic growth, our economic standard. Any one of you who is into any real level of investment, you know, I mean, any investment you project you're a part of, sometimes it's 8% you're getting back in your return in a year time. You understand? So when you hear that you can get 10 to 20% return, you know, to some it may not hit them right because they're looking for something else, like as if this is a raffle or a lotto. No, man, this is real timely quality investment that we have studied over a period of time, and we clearly definitely have the handle of the market at the moment. I'm just telling you straight how it is. So if you're serious with, you know, your economic growth and managing your money properly, I'm telling you for sure, you can definitely check us out at Megalith Investment Group. Call us and get a proper consultation. What will a consultation hurt? When we can sit down and I can show you, or whoever in our team can show you clearly what your investment will be going into. Very transparent, even for the term, the period of time that you're investing with us, constant reporting, so you can look forward. Even I can even show you a secret, family. Even when you get a time frame, let's suppose your investment is returned, your returns are coming in 7 months, because we have that short time frame to 7 months. Yeah, depending on what you invest in, you know. And of course, depending how it goes, you could get your returns before the end of 7 months, you know, even in increment payments as well. So you could see the finance coming back, you know. And of course, there's always that opportunity for you to compound invest. So you get the compound interest at the end of the day. So just contact us, family, of course, and we can talk more about it. For those who are serious, and we'll have much more information that we can pass on to you outside of this one flyer that you're looking at here. For those who are very serious about this, definitely. So just encouraging you again, you know, to join us on Sunday and Tuesday morning for the sunset hike, and of course the sunrise hike on Tuesday the 21st, and it's also a yoga hike. And let me remind you that although you may see the gathering for Sunday here at 4:30, that was just a little misprint on my part. Please forgive me for that. But we will be gathering at 3:30 p.m. at the outside of the Ebenezer gas station right there in Jennings. That is at 3:30 on Sunday. It's going to be a wonderful sunset hike. And then, of course, Tuesday, the 21st, the morning hike, we gather at 5 p.m. or 5 a.m., sorry, in the uprising. Beautiful, wonderful. You see, even behind Rastre here, this is a section of the hill. You can see the megaliths coming up, you know. This is a cross section of the hill where the hill has been destroyed. So these same megaliths here were once underneath the earth and took hundreds of thousands of years maybe to be the beauty of Greencastle Hill that you know. So give thanks, you know, for all those who have definitely come and joined us, even from different parts of the world, those who have visited us from England to be a part of this experience. It is a joy. We hope those of you who didn't make it this time will be with us next time around for the spring equinox. Hey, get yourself ready now, man. Don't waste no time again. So you could definitely be with us in September for the spring equinox. where we will be having another wonderful session as we always do. All right, family, give thanks and remind you again that our special as it relates to our t-shirts that you would get for free. Remember, the special is coming to an end this weekend. So if you are serious about that, to get your international homeschool t-shirt, well, it's all right. Even though the special is done, you can still order your homeschool classes and you can still order the shirt if you desire. Of course, that will definitely be a blessing to I and I here at the Priest Isaac Institute of Holistic Knowledge. Give thanks for your love, my family. Give thanks to the moment. Give thanks to the life giver and the keeper of life. Give thanks to the Father and the Mother of creation. Blessed love in all good doings and sayings. Holy Manuel I, Selassie I, Jah, Rastafari. Blessed love.